Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. Hello there, my wonderful, amazing, beautiful, cozy babes, and welcome back to the coziest corner of the internet. Today's reading, with this pick a card, we are going to be really getting into hopefully some messages, some miracles, and I really believe that by the end of this reading, you are going to feel some kind of a shift in your life, some kind of a miracle in your life, and that is the energy that we will be channeling today. So let me go ahead and talk a little bit about each selection. If you already know which pile you're feeling, feel free to click down on the timestamp in the description box down below. But if you're not sure yet, or you've never seen a pick a card before and you're new here, allow me to give you a brief explanation or rundown of how they work and some close-ups of these crystals. So first and foremost, pile number 1 is going to be this pile, and I believe that this is an aqua aura quartz. It looks like this. It's quite beautiful. It kind of has this like iridescent finish to it. And then pile number 2, we have this piece of specular hematite, which it's kind of hard to pick it up on camera, but it has this like glitter finish to it almost. It's very beautiful. And then pile number 2, we have a piece of just clear aura quartz. Looks like that. Or did I say pile 2? I meant to say 3. And then pile number 4, we have a piece of pyrite, which also kind of has this like gold sparkle to it. All right, so if you don't know how this works, basically you're going to choose between pile 1, 2, 3, or 4. Like I said, there's a timestamp in the description box for you down below. And you're free to choose more than one if you feel called to piles like 2 and 3 or 1 and 4, or maybe you feel called to every single pile, which I think is completely normal. Sometimes not one singular pile will resonate with you completely, and you have multiple messages in multiple piles. So it's completely up to you how you're vibing and feeling with these piles. But I'm going to go ahead and turn up some vibey, cozy music for you while you sit with these different piles to make a selection, and then we will get started from pile number 1. Before we get into your reading, I do just want to talk a little bit about Tarot Stack. Tarot Stack is an online store that sells tarot decks from indie artists. So if you are looking for a special gift this holiday season for your favorite friend, your favorite spiritual friend or family member, this is a great place to shop, as all of these decks are from independent artists that basically you're not shopping like big box or anything. It's more of like small business vibes, and you get to help an independent artist be seen a little bit more. And the decks are so cool. Every single deck that we use in today's reading actually comes from Tarot Stack. And y'all already know, if you've been on my channel for a long time, that I work with Tarot Stack all the time. They are honestly probably one of my favorite brands to work with. I always jump at the chance when I'm given an opportunity to work with them, as I just really believe in what they're trying to do here, which is get these small independent artist decks out into the world more, into your hands to be seen by more people. And every single deck that I have ever received from Tarot Stack, the card stock is really high quality. The imaging is high quality. The art is always really interesting. and I have genuinely always been pleasantly surprised. So I hope you'll like some of the decks that you see here today. Everything will be linked down below for you, of course. All right, pile number one, if you chose the Aqua Aura Quartz that we have here, this is going to be your reading. So we are first going to get started by just seeing what your guides brought you into this reading for. What is kind of the overarching thing, if there's been something on your mind, or maybe there's something you just really need to hear. This is going to tip you off immediately if you chose the right pile, because if these first few cards don't resonate, I would encourage you to go and choose again. And rest assured, I really do believe if you were drawn to this reading, there is something here for you in one of these piles, but just see these first few cards and see how they make you feel. And I would also encourage that if you feel some level of resistance, that is often a sign that there is something in a pile for you. Like even when you were selecting, if you felt resistant to a specific pile, that usually means that there's something there. So let's go ahead and take a look-see. So first and foremost, we have the Empress. All right. This tells me that you are in a period of your life right now, or you might be just about to enter a period of your life right now where you are wanting to, like, I'm hearing cycle syncing is something that's like at the forefront of your mind. Now, I know that not everybody that comes across my readings is somebody that has a menstrual cycle. Maybe you did at one time, or you're somebody that just has never, but remember, this is a generalized reading, so I'm going to get many messages. There's more to the Empress than just cycle syncing, but I just wanted to put that in here that if you have felt recently called to paying attention to that, Spirit is saying that you need to get more involved in that. Get more involved in that. Pick up some books. I guarantee you there is either someone online that's been talking about it, or somebody in your friendship circle that knows something about it, and you need to reach out and find out more about this. So if that's not for you and you're somebody that's like, nope, that's not my vibe, the Empress is also about pregnancy, conception, fertility, but not just of like a child. It is also resemblant of a creative endeavor, something that you would be birthing into the world. Even if it is not something that is like a physical human being, it could literally be some kind of project, some kind of business, some kind of new idea. It's about being pregnant with ideas and birthing those into the world, because I firmly believe, like, every video I create here, I birth that. Like, my videos are my children. Okay. I know that probably sounds insane to someone, but it's like every piece of content that I make, like, I am a mother of that content. So just recognize that this can be something that applies to you too, no matter how you see yourself. So next we have the Three of Pentacles with the beehive here. And the Three of Pentacles is all about accepting help from other people, accepting help from friends, accepting help from your community. This could be something that you actually really struggle with, to like slow down and accept help. And then we also have the Three of Wands. So we also have 33 here, which is a master number, because we have Three of Wands, Three of Pentacles. The three energy is all about expanding your reality in some way. So the Three of Wands is expansion, it's travel. You might be taking a trip soon, or that could be what, like, looking into the next year of your life. Maybe you want more travel, you want more adventure in your life. But Spirit is saying that 3 is an important number to you. Like 33 might be something that you're just attracted to. Or you could also be like a life path 33, which is something that you can be. There are master numbers, which are 11, 33, and 22. So you could be a life path 33. 33 could just be your lucky number. There's something about that here. And the number 3 also corresponds to the number of creation, which is interesting because the Empress is the creator, right? She is the maker of lives and birthing lives. So the creator in general, I would say, really, oh my gosh, how did I not see that? This is 333, because the Empress, this is Roman numeral 3. The Empress is the third card. So you literally have lucky number 333 here. And that's so funny. I can't believe I didn't catch that, but I just can't believe it took me a second. But This is about birthing new things into your reality. Like I said, it's a very creative number. Life path 3s as well are very creative people. I would know, I'm a life path 3, but they're very creative individuals. And 33 is like the master of creation. Okay. So if any of that resonates with you, this is your reading. So we're going to use this deck again in a second. But I want to use another tried and true favorites, which is this Spread Crafter's Oracle, I believe. Is that what it's called? Yeah, Spread Crafter's Oracle. This is like specific things right now that your guides need you to know or hear about. And I love this deck because there's no question that's really off limits. It could be a multitude of things. So this is how your reading is going to be like super in-depth and detailed and really, really specific. You'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, so first up we have excuse. This says, what excuses are you making to escape and avoid your problems? Have you been refusing to take ownership and responsibility for your reality? So we'll look at that one. Actually, let's kind of break this one down first and then we'll draw another one of these. So I'm just going to put this over here off camera for a moment. And we're just going to pull the next 2 cards off the top of this deck. So we have, oh no, Queen, bestie, 8 of Swords and Knight of Cups. Ooh, okay. The Knight of Cups is fantastic energy. There's no bad cards in the tarot, but I can tell that you've really been hurting yourself lately. I can tell with the 8 of Swords that not only have you really been hurting yourself, you've been really like limiting your potential and your possibility by basically making excuses as to why you can't have something. So you've been filling your mind lately with doubt. You've been filling your mind with all of the reasons why something is not possible for you versus taking ownership and deciding to present yourself with evidence as to why it is possible. And this is one of those things that all of us are guilty of it, okay? Every single human on the face of this planet has doubt, has guilt, tells themselves stories as to why something is not for them or can't happen for them, okay? This is normal. This is something that happens. However, the 8 of Swords, the kind of like hard medicine, and rest assured, I tell y'all all the time, I'm not Willy Wonka. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. If you're looking for a reader that makes candy at the candy factory, I am not the reader for you because I am going to give it to you straight. Or as gay as possible. But I am going to give it to you exactly as Spirit is giving it to me, which is the harsh medicine of the 8 of Swords is that these are problems of your own making. And that's why I think the excuse card also came out is you are choosing. Like, I know people will say like, oh yeah, just think about something else. Like that's so easy. It's not easy. Changing the way you think about something, changing your story internally, it's hard work. It's not easy. And it is work that if you allow yourself to change the way you think about something, it will change your entire life fundamentally. Promise. I promise. Promise. Like I not only have so many examples of this in my own life, but so many examples in people I know's lives too. That when you start to provide your mind with evidence as to why certain beliefs that you have about yourself aren't true, it starts to change the way that you perceive the world. And because you receive what you perceive, you are the creator and the maker of your reality. That's how you actually manifest. That's how you have to start to change inside before you will see the outside reflect back. So I know, I feel like I'm speaking so cryptically. I'm not trying to, but the main point of this 8 of Swords is that if you keep telling yourselves all the reasons that you can't, you need to start telling yourself all the reasons that you can. My favorite example is I always like to use I typically say Lizzo because I really like her music, but Lizzo, do you think that she wakes up or like before she got really famous? I mean, you could say Britney Spears, you could say Christina Aguilera, like replace with whoever is your fave. Do you think that before they made it big, were like, oh, that market's oversaturated. I probably shouldn't make music. No. They still decided to get up and make music anyways and provide themselves with evidence as to why they could. And they didn't let excuses stop them. They kept doing it anyways. And I feel like that's really the Eight of Swords. Now, I understand when you tried to manifest something so intently and you constantly are shown it not coming to pass, that can be really frustrating. That can be really disheartening. It can be really maddening. It can be really heartbreaking. Like that feels almost like gaslighting yourself when you tell yourself like, yes, I can, yes, I can, yes, I can. And the universe constantly shows you all the reasons that you can't. You, instead of waiting for the outside to validate, you have to be the person that validates you. That's really what I'm getting at. And like I said, it's not easy work, but I can tell that you've been beating yourself up a lot lately. And the thing is, like I said, that harsh medicine is that you're doing it to yourself. You have to be the person that decides no more. Now, the Knight of Cups, I feel like this card is a lot more lighthearted and it's a lot more invested in like Delulu is the Salulu, okay? Being delusional is the solution here. And I do want to say, like, don't get me wrong, I am here for your Delulu era, okay? I love being delusional. I myself love being in that energy. But I do think it can create cognitive dissonance, and you have to be careful with that, because if you keep trying to delude yourself into something over and over and over and over and over again, and your reality for like years on end just never reflects it, that can start to create a shame spiral inside yourself that you are the problem and you are doing something wrong, which I think might really be the case here. So don't get me wrong, being Delulu can be the Salulu, but also having an honest conversation with yourself and asking yourself why something might not be working. And if there is something that can be changed, even if it's just your mind, is going to work a lot faster than just being like, no, I can't look at this. No, I can't look at that. No, like sometimes you have to be willing to ask yourself why it hasn't worked. And not as a defeating concept to make yourself not continue, but truly as something that's like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can come at this from a new angle. Maybe I can choose this path instead. Because I promise you, the universe always wants you to have the path of least resistance. And so if you are constantly being met with resistance, there's something that you're missing. But little delusional is not going to hurt anybody, but I do feel like there is some balance that sometimes is needed with that. Okay, next thing is limiting beliefs. Oh my gosh, we were just talking about this. Okay, limiting beliefs, which both of these cards, wait, was this one? Let me read that. This one was a shadow work card. Okay. And then this one is also a shadow work card. So not every card in this deck is based on shadow work. So Spirit is definitely telling you that right now, in order to see more miracles in your life, you need to be willing to look at your shadow. And I think that's why that message about delusion and like being Delulu came through from your guides, is because, again, there's nothing wrong with being Delulu. I am a big fan. Lots of content creators that I enjoy make Delulu content and I love listening to it. But sometimes it's better to like actually look at what is happening and decide to make different choices. So limiting beliefs. What are the negative assumptions or perceptions that limit and stop you from being the best version of yourself? What have you been conditioned to believe? All right, so let's see what is it? What is it that this eight of swords over here is giving us? Two of Pentacles and the Four of Wands. Okay. Two of Pentacles, something that you're having a hard time with is actually creating balance in your life. You're having a hard time. Like it feels like too much because it is too much, bestie. When I see that, like, you know, it's like, oh, I'm trying to like make my relationships good, my money good, my career good, take care of my house and, you know, everything in the bathroom sink, like, and have like good skincare and make sure that I'm working out and make sure that I'm eating right. Like it can become a lot. And I feel like the limiting belief that you have right now is that you can't have it all, is that having that level of balance is too hard. But the reality of the situation is that you can, but you're going about it in a way that's overloading yourself. And you need to go a little bit slower in order for things to work for you. So you're going a little too fast. We got to slow down. And then the Four of Wands, you need to make room to celebrate how far you've come, because the Four of Wands is the card of celebration. Okay. It's also the card of like, sometimes it can be marriage or like an engagement. So that could be something that like maybe you really want that you feel like you can't have, or it could even be like the person that you are with kind of tells you that you can't and you need to have a conversation with them. But Four of Wands tells me that if you keep trying to push yourself and you're not making room to actually celebrate your life and spend time with others, that is a complete and whole sector of your life that like okay, hear me out. Let's say tomorrow you woke up, you had all the money that you needed, your skincare and your skin was flawless, your diet made sense, your house was pristine, and like everything you could ever want. Okay. Just like think of anything you could want, all of it you had tomorrow. Okay. But now, are you going to be so stressed out that you have to hold all of this? Or are you going to make room to actually celebrate? Because if you're not cultivating relationships with people as you're going, when you make it to the top, it can be lonely if you haven't taken the time to stop and celebrate with people, to be with family, to be with people that love you. If you are married to constantly always trying to balance your life, but you're leaving out an entire sector, you're going to end up perpetuating a lot of loneliness. And take it from somebody who's been there. This is something that through all of my 20s personally, I worked. Even like when I had serious death in the family, I would spend like 2 days grieving and then I would go back to hustling, especially when I was in the gaming industry. I think it was worse. When I moved into spirituality, things got a lot better. But if y'all don't know and like haven't been a long-term listener, I used to do gaming for like 7 years professionally. And when I was doing that kind of content creation, I didn't celebrate most things. Like it was I am always working, and I was really married to my career. And that led to like a massive amount of burnout. And it left me recognizing that people around me, my family included, would continue to have lives, continue to grow. And it was like I blinked and missed like 7 years of people important to me's lives. And one day I woke up and I was like, I just don't ever want to experience this. Like some of these people, like nobody's promised tomorrow. I would really like to see these people. So that's all I'm saying is like, make sure that at every, like, not saying you have to make room for people every single day, but make sure that you're keeping those that you love close to you too. And when it comes to your limiting beliefs, you can have balance and you can have relationships that support you. Right now, I'm also hearing that from Spirit, that you might feel like you don't have anybody in your life that really is supportive of the person that you are. And so that makes it difficult for you. But Spirit is telling me that like, that is a belief that you need to work through. You are worthy of friendships. You are worthy of close knit. Like if it's not family, it could be family. Like something that I feel like you're probably attracted to like my readings because this is an area of expertise for me because I've experienced it. And not to get too caught up in myself here, I will say I do feel that my work is best received through like sharing and storytelling. So if that's not for you, I respect that, but just give me a second. And then we'll continue on with the rest of the reading. But something else I want to add to this is like when you have a way of like basically labeling someone in your life, maybe it's like a cousin, maybe it's your family unit as a whole, or old friends that you've walked away from. Don't get me wrong. I think sometimes for your mental health, you need that. But just as much as you have grown as a person, other people have the opportunity to grow too. And if you open your eyes to who's next to you and what they're about, especially at this time on the planet where I really do believe a lot more people are becoming a lot more wise to some shit, you might be surprised how many people in your life would actually be more susceptible to the stuff that you believe in or think about. And obviously don't go out there and get yourself hurt. I totally respect and understand if like somebody just always puts you down. You don't need to go and seek that person's validation. But if you've labeled people for years and years and years, maybe it's time to circle back around and check in with them again and see if anything has changed. Maybe there's people in your midst that actually would be able to celebrate you better now because they have grown and changed too. So anyways, that's all I'm going to say on that. I want to pull just like a few more of these to see what miracles are coming for you. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, which this card tells me that soon you're going to be feeling like you are the master of balancing. This is the miracle, because look at all of like the chakras. This woman's all like, yes, I have ideas. I have energy. I'm feeling so good. This is also why I feel like cycle syncing might be important to you, is like you are a cyclical being. And when you work with your cycle versus against it, you're going to realize certain points of the month you feel on top of the world like this. So you will be able to create the balance that you're seeking. That is a miracle that is coming for you. Oh my gosh, we also have the Star. Okay, so the Star, this is all about healing. It's healing, but it also can be fame, fortune, money, being seen, having the spotlight on you. But the Star, it's my favorite card in the tarot, truly. It is my favorite card out of the major arcana. And this card to me just like speaks of so much promise and so much like, it's like the best is always yet to come. And if you've been working through something diligently, this is a sign that you will heal. And please remember, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. Like, don't take my readings in place of that. And it also can be, if you're looking for fame or for the spotlight to be on you more, this is a sign that it will. Like, you will have your viral moment. And then we also have the Chariot for you, which is another beautiful card. This is about being in alignment with your destiny. This can also be about moving house. If you've been like wanting a new home, this can be a sign that you're going to actually finally make the journey to that and be moving house. Like, you are literally manifesting your new home. But it's also about like manifesting your destiny, manifesting your next calling in life. If you felt kind of between things, you are literally manifesting your next calling. And so these are miracles that are opening up for you right now. Like, from the time you're hearing this reading, these are already on their way to you, all of them. And I do have a few more cards I want to pull for you. These last few are going to come from the, what is this deck called? Cosmic Guidance. Y'all love this deck on my channel. I use it all the time. It's one of my personal favorites. But this Cosmic Guidance, I just want to see what blessings are also like more blessings from Spirit, more miracles. What else is coming, Spirit, for pile number 1? The Moon, subconscious mind, feminine intuition. Ooh, I feel like this really pairs nicely with the Empress as well. So this tells me that like you are getting into your feminine energy. Okay. Feminine energy is all about resting, receiving, flowing. You are going to be feeling so good. Like, I'm not kidding you. Spirit is telling me like, give it 2 weeks. If you are not feeling your best right now, give it 2 weeks. In 2 weeks' time, you're going to notice this shift, possibly right even after this reading. Like, I feel like your energy is being risen. Then we have forgiveness, set yourself free. So if there's something that's been heavy on your mind and heart that you haven't been able to forgive yourself for, Spirit is saying that like, you're going to start forgiving yourself. You're going to start forgiving yourself. You're going to feel more free. You're going to be feeling really good, actually. And then we also have you are safe. The universe has your back. I really get the sense, pile number 1, that you have not really been feeling your best lately. And your guides brought you to this reading to let you know that everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. The worst case scenario is not going to happen. And literally, like, tune into your subconscious, tune into that feminine energy, regardless of if you are male or female, or identify as like they, them. It doesn't matter. Everybody holds these two energies. You don't have to call them masculine and feminine. You could call them fire and water. Like, it's all about like these two energies. I do feel like most people usually lead with one over the other, but I'm really feeling that you are trying to sink more into softness, and the universe is telling you that it's okay and it's safe for you to do that now. So that is what I have for you in this reading. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. Please don't forget, if you like any of the decks that you saw here today, to check them out below, and I will link everything down there for you. Now, if you loved this work here, my beautiful cozy babe, I do want to invite you to check out my Patreon. It is the best place that you can support me as a small creator. And truly, we have such a good time on Patreon. I put out astrological predictions. Currently, I just put out a deep, in-depth astrology and tarot for the month of December. So if you want to see that, it's already available on my channel. It's like an hour-long video. I go into every single week of December. There's also the theme for the month. And this month, there'll be more. I'm going to talk more about this in about a week or so. But I'm also doing a masterclass available to my patrons at the Cozy Babe tier. There will be a masterclass coming out, that tier or higher, and it's going to be all about making a vision board that will work for you in 2024. If you didn't know this about me, I am the master of making vision boards and seeing those boards come to life. Truly. Like, I have so much evidence to back this up. And if you've ever felt like vision boards didn't work for you, or you want to know how to make them and make them work for you, this is going to be the masterclass that I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to teach you all about it. And for 11/11, like, come on now. It's such a good, like, it's going to be so good. I'm so excited to talk to you about it. So that is going to be coming up this month of December. I just want to put it out before the new year. Before we get into January. And even if you join in January, or you're seeing this reading later, that will still be available on my Patreon. Like, it's not going to go away from there. So definitely make sure you check it out if you want that. And if you'd like to support me elsewhere, of course, I accept tips for my readings. I have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed for you down below always. I also have my courses that are available to you. I have a 4-week course that goes into like becoming your best, most authentic self. I have a workbook about being your authentic self that comes with some audio guides. And I also do currently have a limited, extremely limited, like literally 3 spots, readings available this month. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at KhloeTaylor.com. So all the links for everything will be down below. And if you've stayed and listened to this entire thing that I just said right now, please leave me this emoji down below to let me know that you stayed and listened to my entire spiel, because I really appreciate that. I know a lot of people will just like click away. So thank you so much. I love you so much. And lastly, before I go, just to anybody that's been like, Chloe, where have you been? You've been gone for like a month. I've just been kind of like in the void, letting myself like rest into it. And my podcast, I talked about it a little bit more, which my podcast is on hiatus until January. But if you were like, Chloe, where the heck have you been? Miss you so much, bestie. Honestly, I've just been on a break, and I'm happy to be back now. I'm so happy to be making content. The break was so necessary. I'm doing really, really, really good. My mental health is really good. And it was just a very necessary and needed break. So thank you so much for your patience on waiting for another reading. And I love you so much. Don't forget to stay cozy. Before we get into your reading, I do just want to talk a little bit about Tarot Stack. Tarot Stack is an online store that sells tarot decks from indie artists. So if you are looking for a special gift this holiday season for your favorite friend, your favorite spiritual friend or family member, this is a great place to shop, as all of these decks are from independent artists that basically you're not shopping like big box or anything. It's more of like small business vibes, and you get to help an independent artist be seen a little bit more. And the decks are so cool. Every single deck that we use in today's reading actually comes from Tarot Stack. And y'all already know, if you've been on my channel for a long time, that I work with Tarot Stack all the time. They are honestly probably one of my favorite brands to work with. I always jump at the chance when I'm given an opportunity to work with them, as I just really believe in what they're trying to do here, which is get these small independent artist decks out into the world more, into your hands to be seen by more people. And every single deck that I have ever received from Tarot Stack, the card stock is really high quality. The imaging is high quality. The art is always really interesting. And I have genuinely always been pleasantly surprise. So I hope you'll like some of the decks that you see here today. Everything will be linked down below for you, of course. All right, pile number 2, if you chose the Specular Hematite, looks like this, kind of has a nice little sheen or sparkle to it. This is going to be your reading. So first and foremost, we're actually going to start by pulling some cards to see something about you right now, just like in general. The first 3 cards, if they do not resonate, I would encourage you to pick a different pile, as a different pile might resonate more. However, just like I told pile number 1, if you chose a pile and you felt like a little bit of resistance towards it, or maybe you didn't choose one because you felt resistance toward it, that is often a sign that there's a message in a pile for you. So just keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and see what we can get about your current situation, or it could be your current situation where you currently are, a card that's like familiar to you. Like I know for myself, my favorite card in the tarot is the Star. So when I see the Star come out, I always know it's for me. You know, it's just something that's going to help kind of anchor this reading to you, or not anchor it to you, but just help you to connect that the reading is for you or not. All right. We have the 4 of Cups. So what I know with the 4 of Cups and what I can see with that is that you are in a position right now where you are saying no to a lot of opportunity. The 4 of Cups often can be one that talks about like almost being too picky or too choosy, but from one picky person to another. I'm not picky when it comes to food. However, I mean, as a Taurus, I feel like that is like a crime against Tauruses to be picky about food. But being like picky about life, about opportunities, about your friendship circles, there's like nothing wrong with that. So I'm never going to be the reader that's going to tell you to just like not be picky about life. I think sometimes when we close doors for something, it opens the door for something else. But sometimes there is a time when the universe keeps trying to present opportunities to you, and you continuously keep saying no. It's like your wildest dreams cannot manifest because you're not saying yes to opening any doors. You have to also you have to let the universe do its part, but you also have to do your part. Okay, so the next card is the 9 of Swords. Now, this card is notorious for being like the anxiety card, the worry card. So you might be in a situation right now where you're feeling like everything's kind of tits up, like nothing is going in your favor. Nothing feels like it's right or correct or in flow or going smooth. And you're worried about a lot. You have a lot on your plate right now. And we also have the Moon. So I hate to be the bearer of, I don't want to say bad news, because I don't think it's ever bad news. But when the Moon shows up with these other 2 cards, in my opinion, this is really about the universe is keeping you in the dark on purpose. And this isn't because you're meant to like scream at the universe or be angry, but there are some things that you just do not need to be privy to until the right time. And everything is always in divine timing. So because these other 2 cards came out, I really get the sense that there is a need for you to kind of stop, slow down, and catch your breath and allow yourself to come more fully into alignment with the bigger picture that you want to see for your life, which I think this is really appropriate for. Obviously, like my readings are timeless, but if you're watching this when it is like newly being put out, we are at the end of a year almost, like New Year's is right around the corner. And I do feel like sometimes that last chapter of the year can feel darker. I mean, it is like a winter period, not for everybody. Obviously, there are some people in the world where it's not winter, but for many of us, it is winter. It is a time period before we will eventually come out the other side into spring where there's new life. But it's like a darker time period. And the Moon can also be a card that just really resembles you as a person. Somebody that is a little bit more inward focused, more of an introvert, is highly intuitive. You might be somebody that really vibes with like goddess energy or the mother archetype. I feel like the moon technically is all female archetypes. It's not just the mother. It's the mother, the maiden, the crone. and everything betwixt and in between. So that's like another way that you could tell that this is your reading. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to some more cards. So we are going to use the, I always forget what this one's called, the Spread Crafters Oracle, to basically get some really specific messages from your guides. That's how this reading is so in depth, and you're going to see what I mean in just a second. There are things that you need to hear, and we're going to see exactly what those things are and basically what about them. So like we're going to kind of get a prompt, and then we're going to go through that prompt with more cards. So you'll see what I mean in a second. Okay, so number one, we have dreams, true calling, and vision. Camera's going crazy. It wants to focus on everything. Come on. There we go. I don't know why it like wants to be on the background. That's so weird that it would do that when we're talking about dreams, true calling, and vision. I don't feel like anything is ever a coincidence. So it's almost like, to me, before even pulling cards with this, I feel like this is about getting really clear. And something I want to tell you, pile number two, about getting really clear on your vision is that, number one, if you feel like you need assistance with like vision boarding, things like that, I'm not saying this to every single pile usually until the end, but I feel like it's pertinent to your reading. So I'm going to remind you. I actually have a masterclass coming out on my Patreon this month where I'm going to lead you through creating your vision for 2024. Like, I have so many stories of vision boards working for me, and why sometimes they don't, and how you can kind of navigate through that. So if you feel like you need help with that, be sure to sign up on my Patreon at the Cozy Babe tier, because you will have access to that full masterclass this month. It's like coming out mid-month, but still. But I feel like something else, without even pulling more cards on this yet, is that dreams, true calling, vision, you maybe had a vision for your life initially, and now you're recognizing that what you thought you originally wanted, you don't really want anymore. And we're going to suss this out with more cards right now and see kind of what Spirit means by that. So we have the 10 of Cups, and we also have the 6 of Pentacles. So there is a really specific message here for you, pile number two, and that is, you are somebody that you maybe didn't ever really feel like a family-oriented person. You didn't ever really feel family-oriented. And I say that because the 10 of Cups is all about like family. Okay. It's like family and wish fulfillment. And it's not necessarily like your lineage. That's more like 10 of Pentacles energy, but it's like having it all and family. I'm getting the message from Spirit that this has to do with family. So it's funny that you would get the Moon too, and I mentioned the mother archetype outright, but I feel like I'm stumbling over it because I know that this message isn't going to be for everybody, but I'm just going to say it, okay? It might just be like one person that this resonates with, and I'm going to like talk about the rest of the meanings behind the card too. But one of y'all that's here, you like thought you were never going to be for like family or children. Like, you thought you were going to be child free for life. Never like think about children, never think about starting your own family. And you're coming to realize that your vision is actually changing a lot. And this is anybody out there that like wants to be child free. Please know that this is literally just a message from your guides that I'm getting for someone specific. I like, honestly, if this is you, book me for a one-on-one, because there's something about like your life changing, and it's because you finally feel like there's an equal exchange of energy in your relationship. You've never felt ready to start a family or have children because you were doing everything. And now it's like your partner waters you and you water them. And because there is this equal energy exchange happening, you are able, I feel like this is a woman probably that I'm talking to, or somebody that has like, you would be the child bearer. Doesn't matter how you identify, as long as you have a womb space, or like, it could be into adoption, but I'm getting that this is somebody that's like a paternal mother figure. But that has been like the key that has unlocked it, is like now suddenly you're like, shit, I've actually always wanted kids. I just always thought that wasn't going to be possible. And that is like the vision that you're now moving towards. And it's why things haven't really worked out. And you've been a lot more anxious and you've been more picky about things, is because you haven't opened yourself up to what your soul actually came here to do. And for everybody else that does not fit for you, the general message here is that you're not letting yourself dream big enough. There's more, and you want more, but you're afraid to ask for more. And the universe keeps giving you bare minimum down here with this 4 of Cups, and you're disappointed because you're not really asking the universe and working in tandem with the universe to manifest what it is that you actually want. You'll be like, oh, like, you know, you actually really want like super nice things, let's say, but then you'll short sell yourself and be like, no, I just want to be comfortable. Like, you want more than that. And it's okay to want more than that. So when it comes to dreams, vision, and true calling, I feel like your vision is getting altered. And I also think your vision has become altered because you've actually lived out a lot of the visions that you've already had for yourself. And you've been waiting for like basically what is going to be next. And I feel like you're getting pulled into the realm of either dreaming bigger, letting yourself have something else, something different that you'd never considered before. And then there is someone here that is literally considering kids. Okay. And then your next card we have is self-care. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. Please stop. Okay. What can you do to nurture your mind, body, and spirit, your mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being? Oh, this could be such a good card for you, because we're actually going to get from spirit what it is that you need. So we have the 9 of Pentacles and the Hermit. Oh my gosh. So literally what you need is to take a break. The Hermit is all about solitude, time by yourself, going like doing, I would say shadow work to a degree, but just spending alone time, a lot of alone time. And the 9 of Pentacles, this is also about treating yourself. So like, I feel like when I talk about treating yourself, it doesn't have to be like a big bougie vacation. It can be if you've got that, but it can also be like, you want to make dinner by candlelight tonight. That can be like adding the extra oomph to something, you know? It can be, you know, maybe you're going to watch Netflix the way that you always do, and that's your self-care, but maybe on this particular night, you're going to put a face mask on with it. Maybe you're going to paint your nails too. Maybe you're going to get your favorite snacks from the store before sitting down to do that. It's like you need to treat yourself a little bit more, because I think you've told yourself all the reasons why you don't deserve it or you're not worthy of it. But the real secret here is that if you're not worthy of self-care, then nobody is. Everybody is just as equally worthy. And I would actually argue, if you've never heard this before, I'm about to blow you out of the water. But when it comes to manifesting what you want from life, worthiness has nothing to do with it. You literally do not ever have to be worthy of something, because you were already born worthy of everything. There's no like amount of worthiness or something you have to do to be the receptive person of your desires. Like, I hate that when I hear people say like they just want to be worthy of their manifestations. That's not a thing. Like, there is no amount of worthiness that you need to be, and questioning your worth was never part of it. Let that sink in. Okay, I'm going to pull some more cards just to see what miracles are coming up in your life right now. Okay, so we have the Devil coming out, which tells me that you are going to be victorious over a habit that you've been trying to quit. We also have for you the card of Justice, which tells me that you are going to be treated justly and fairly. So I don't do legal readings on my channel. Most tarot card readers don't. But I will say this is usually a good sign if you are in some kind of legal thing right now. It's usually a good sign that something is going to come out in your favor, or at the very least, it's going to be fair. Like, you're not going to be treated unfairly. But please remember, I am not legal counsel and do not use my readings as legal counsel. And then you also got this beautiful Ace of Cups card. And this card, this is all about filling up your own cup. This is filling up your own cup, you know, watering yourself first so that you can then in turn water others. So self-care coming up really strong in your reading, pile number 2. And then I also want to pull just a few cards from this cosmic guidance deck just to see, again, what other blessings are going to be coming towards you at this time. Ooh. Okay, that one did not want to go back in the deck, so that's for us. You got mystery. It says secrets and hidden meanings. So I do feel like you right now, a miracle that is coming to light for you is you actually getting more like synchronicities, like seeing numbers on a clock, seeing there's like more secret mysteries that are being unlocked to you. You're getting a lot of symbols and like knowledge from spirit. And I feel like you're also like, you're just becoming more privy to like those. I feel like the more you actually question reality, you'd think you would get more answers, but you actually end up with more questions. And I feel like you're really enraptured in, is that the right word? Enraptured? Invested, shall we say? That's a better word. You're really invested in uncovering mysteries right now, like spirituality, things like that. And then we also have the card of forgiveness, which pile number 1 also got this card. And this is all about forgiving yourself so that you can be set free from things of the past that like maybe you didn't always act the best. Maybe you weren't always your best self, but sometimes you didn't know what you couldn't know. And it's okay. Now that you know better, you're going to do better. And I feel like somebody also might be forgiving you, pile number 2, and that's also going to set you free. And that is what I have for you, pile number 2. That is what I have for you in this reading. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. Please don't forget, if you like any of the decks that you saw here today, to check them out below. And I will link everything down there for you. Now, if you loved this work here, my beautiful cozy babe, I do want to invite you to check out my Patreon. It is the best place that you can support me as a small creator. And truly, we have such a good time on Patreon. I put out astrological predictions. Currently, I just put out a deep, in-depth astrology and tarot for the month of December. So if you want to see that, it's already available on my channel. It's like an hour-long video. I go into every single week of December. There's also the theme for the month. And this month, there'll be more. I'm going to talk more about this in about a week or so. But I'm also doing a masterclass available to my patrons at the Cozy Babe tier. There will be a masterclass coming out, that tier or higher, and it's going to be all about making a vision board that will work for you in 2024. If you didn't know this about me, I am the master of making vision boards and seeing those boards come to life. Truly. Like, I have so much evidence to back this up. And if you've ever felt like vision boards didn't work for you, or you want to know how to make them and make them work for you, this is going to be the masterclass that I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to teach you all about it. And for 11/11, like, come on now. It's such a good, like, it's going to be so good. I'm so excited to talk to you about it. So that is going to be coming up this month of December. I just want to put it out before the new year. Before we get into January. And even if you join in January or you're seeing this reading later, that will still be available on my Patreon. Like, it's not going to go away from there. So definitely make sure you check it out if you want that. And if you'd like to support me elsewhere, of course, I accept tips for my readings. I have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed for you down below always. I also have my courses that are available to you. I have a 4-week course that goes into like becoming your best and most authentic self. I have a workbook about being your authentic self that comes with some audio guides. And I also do currently have a limited, extremely limited, like literally 3 spots, readings available this month. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at KhloeTaylor.com. So all the links for everything will be down below. And if you've stayed and listened to this entire thing that I just said right now, please leave me this emoji down below to let me know that you stayed and listened to my entire spiel, because I really appreciate that. I know a lot of people will just like click away. So thank you so much. I love you so much. And lastly, before I go, just to anybody that's been like, Chloe, where have you been? You've been gone for like a month. I've just been kind of like in the void, letting myself like rest into it. And my podcast, I talked about it a little bit more, which my podcast is on hiatus until January. But if you were like, Chloe, where the heck have you been? Miss you so much, bestie. Honestly, I've just been on a break and I'm happy to be back now. I'm so happy to be making content. The break was so necessary. I'm doing really, really, really good. My mental health is really good. And it was just a very necessary and needed break. So thank you so much for your patience on waiting for another reading. And I love you so much. Don't forget to stay cozy. Before we get into your reading, I do just want to talk a little bit about Tarot Stack. Tarot Stack is an online store that sells tarot decks from indie artists. So if you are looking for a special gift this holiday season for your favorite friend, your favorite spiritual friend or family member, this is a great place to shop, as all of these decks are from independent artists that basically you're not shopping like big box or anything. It's more of like small business vibes, and you get to help an independent artist be seen a little bit more. And the decks are so cool. Every single deck that we use in today's reading actually comes from Tarot Stack. And y'all already know, if you've been on my channel for a long time, that I work with Tarot Stack all the time. They are honestly probably one of my favorite brands to work with. I always jump at the chance when I'm given an opportunity to work with them, as I just really believe in what they're trying to do here, which is get these small independent artist decks out into the world more, into your hands to be seen by more people. And every single deck that I have ever received from Tarot Stack, the card stock is really high quality. The imaging is high quality. The art is always really interesting. And I have genuinely always been pleasantly surprised. So I hope you'll like some of the decks that you see here today. Everything will be linked down below for you, of course. All right, pile number 3, if you chose this crystal, which is our, I believe it's considered aura quartz or angel aura quartz. I've actually had this one for a little while, and I just picked it up and noticed that it has a lot of black flecks in it that I don't feel like used to be there. I don't know if the camera is going to be able to pick it up or not. Maybe you can kind of see some of them, but anyways, still a really cool crystal regardless. But let's go ahead and see. So the first 3 cards that I'm going to pull for you from this deck are going to just tell you like if this reading is for you. So we're just going to see what comes out. It might be like they're just cards that you see for yourself all the time in other people's readings. I might describe a situation that you've been dealing with, where you currently are, etc. So that's how you're going to know if this is your pile. And if it doesn't resonate right away, please go and choose a different pile. All right. So right off the bat, we have the 2 of Wands. And with the 2 of Wands, this card is really about expansion, manifestation. You are in your manifesting girl era, okay? Manifesting person era, manifesting girl era, manifesting guy era. But you get what I'm saying. You're in your manifesting queen era right now. And this is all about like gathering intel on what you actually desire so that you can bring it forth into your reality. So it's a very like expansive energy. And then we have for you the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is a card that's all about tradition. And I would say if you're seeing this video as it's going up on my channel, like pretty recent after, this card doesn't surprise me at this time of the year, because I do feel like a lot of the holiday season, depending on what you celebrate, a lot of it is done out of like a traditional sense, right? Even if you don't celebrate like the birth of Christ or in like a Christianity way, even if you go to like the old ways of like paganism or celebrating the seasons as they change, it's still out of tradition in a way, right? Because it comes from a different time, but it's still of tradition in a way. So I do feel like right now you might be trying to figure out what traditions you want to honor for yourself this year, what traditions you want to take in. This could actually be the first holiday season that Spirit is saying to me, you might be somebody that's celebrating a holiday season without someone special this year. Like maybe you've lost somebody significant to you, or there's something about having to like do traditions with your own flair this year. Maybe you've decided not to celebrate the way you used to because you have changed significantly this year. Or like I said, somebody significant that used to make this time of year special for you might not be there anymore. And then we have the Six of Swords. So yeah, I think this kind of parrots exactly what I was saying, because the Six of Swords is all about kind of journeying to your own place. It can be a card of moving, like maybe you're actually moving during this time period. But the Six of Swords is also very much about, I want to say like an initiation. It's the initiation card. It's initiating yourself into a new way of being, a new way of thinking, new traditions, new ways of doing things. It can actually be about moving, like I said, moving house. So if any of that resonates for you, this is your pile. So let's go ahead. We're going to use the Spread Crafters Oracle now to get some really specific in-depth messages for you from your guides. And I don't know why, because, sorry, I don't know why, but I am like majorly out of breath right now. And like my heart rate's fine. Everything's fine. But I feel just like I need to like stop and take a couple deep breaths. Like I literally did 2 readings before yours and like I did not feel like I was out of breath at all. So to me, this is me tapping into your energy. And what this says to me is that your guides need you to slow down. Okay? Just like in this reading here with me now, just take a couple deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. One more. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm not really sure where that came from. It was just like a lot of really intense, fast energy. And it makes me question if you feel like you've kind of been like on the run or like moving really quickly through life right now. And like Spirit is saying, this is your time to exhale. Okay. You're entering a period where like things are going to lighten up and you need to exhale a little bit. All right, one more shuffle, and then we're going to pull those cards. Okay, so first up, we have joy, peace, and fun. Oh, see, if things have been rocky or crazy, they're literally about to get so much better right now. So we're going to clarify this with more cards in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pull the other one that I'm going to pull from this deck. We have goals, productivity, and habit. Okay, so let me explain these cards to you. These cards are all about like, basically they are the prompt, and then we use other cards to see what Spirit wants you to know about these things. So you got 2 cards that are about focusing your energy, focusing on something. And so Spirit is being very direct with you, pile number 3. And Spirit is saying that you need to put your energy, if it's not bringing you joy, peace, or fun, it needs to go. And don't get me wrong, I don't think you need to get lost in the sauce of like productivity culture. But there is something about building new goals and habits through the course of actions that you take. So we're going to look at these specifically now. And joy, peace, and fun. We have the Hanged Man and the 7 of Pentacles with this. So the Hanged Man, this is all about gaining a new perspective. And I feel like you're being asked to slow down right now because you need to gain a new perspective on how, like, I'm hearing that if you're somebody that maybe you are like typically a really organized person, you could even be into content creation, but the way that you have organized your day to day, it's not really balanced appropriately. And Spirit is saying the reason you're not having fun is because you're not allowing yourself enough rest or peace or time to take that. Like, honestly, y'all, I'm hearing the word embodiment, like what you're trying to bring into your life right now. Your guides are telling me that you're not practicing enough embodiment. So like, for example, I love self-help books. Okay. Love them. In the past, for literally probably since I was like 17 years old, and I'm 32, so almost half my life, I would always have a self-help book going, like always. I would always have a book I could pick up and read at any time, always in the self-help niche. Don't get me wrong. I have learned so much valuable information. I can talk my way through damn near anything. Like, I'm not saying I never need like more resources or like a therapist, or like sometimes I need more help too. I'm human just like everybody else. But most of the time I can get through anything because I know I have like so many tools in my toolbox to help myself. However, if you are just reading, and this is just an example, this might not be you. I'm just giving this to kind of help explain it a little more. A lot of my neurodivergent babies that like to watch me tell me that this really helps them. So if you're just reading, and you're not embodying any of the things that you're learning, this can lead to burnout and then suddenly a sense of like shame where you feel like you're not able to be helped ever. So Spirit is saying right now, especially with the 7 of Pentacles, because this card is all about like watering the different parts of your life, balancing your chakras, balancing your hormones. Obviously, I'm not a doctor or like a therapist, so please don't use my readings like that. But these are just words that are coming through from divine. Spirit is ultimately saying to me that with your joy, your peace, and your fun, you need to be kind of rebalancing and putting your peace, joy, and fun at the top of your list. Instead of leaving them as like, oh, if I have time for that, I'll do this joyous activity. I'll do this peaceful activity. I'll do this fun activity. Spirit is saying you need to put that at the top of the list and everything else needs to come secondarily. So giving your life a fresh perspective from organizing it that way. And then where goals, habits, and productivity are concerned, we have the King of Pentacles and the Fool. So goals, habits, productivity. Number 1, the King of Pentacles, this is about your money, honey. Okay. Money, material wealth, your bank account, any way that you receive funds. Spirit is saying like, obviously it's okay to throw caution to the wind. It's okay to take risks. It's okay to do things and like spend your money and have fun, but make sure you're checking in with what your long-term goals are too. Make sure you're checking in and asking yourself, like, what do I want to see in my life next year? And is what I'm doing right now in alignment with that? And if it's not, where can I make changes that would actually facilitate that? Some people like to do between like 3 and 5 year plans. I'm not a big believer in those personally. And like, if you are, more power to you. I would never try to snuff out what you're doing. For myself, I feel like as a Sagittarius rising, I feel like if I sign like a year lease, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die in this house. Like commitment is just not, it's not for me. Okay. Like commitment in my relationship, yes. But outside of that, commitment is not for me. So I feel like for me, I have a harder time with those like 3 to 5 year plans, but you know, even like a 6 month is good. You know, if you can do just like a little commitment at a time. I do feel like you're being asked to, especially when it comes to your finances, make sure you're balancing good, jovial, fun times, but like leaving some for the future, because I do feel like this is something that if you plan for this appropriately, it only stands to benefit you, number 1. But number 2, I feel like Spirit is asking you to remain consistent for a reason. Like there's something about consistency in your finances. Now, some miracles that are going to be coming into your life. We're going to pull 3 of these. First of all, we have the 9 of Swords. And the way that I look at this card like a miracle is it's like the overcoming of. So this card is normally all about like anxiousness, worrisome, being bothered, staying up too late, maybe not having your sleep figured out, like having like sleep trouble. Spirit is saying that this is something that's actually going to be stopping for you. So you're going to have a lot more peace. You're not going to have so much like issues with sleep. If you feel like your sleep has been off, you're not going to be worrying as much. And it's almost like it's going to happen out of nowhere. Like, I also think that something to do with your finances, that might be something that causes you worry. And so if you plan ahead a little bit as you're maybe taking some risk, This can save you from worrying. Like something that I think one of the best pieces of advice that I heard in 2023 about finances that I had just never thought about before is think about how you walk around in the world when you only have like, maybe you have negative dollars in your account. Think about how you walk around the world. It like makes you more scared. You have more of a scarcity mindset. But if you actually have like $100 in your bank account even, or, everybody has a different amount of money of what makes them happy. So I don't want to give you like a limitation there. Like for some people, having less than 1,000 in their account gives them anxiety. For some people, they can get down to their last $20, and as long as it's not in the negative, they're fine. But imagine if your bank account had like $10,000 in it. Imagine the kind of person you would be if you walked around knowing that you had a couple months rent in your bank account at all times. It gives you this like sense of peace and freedom that only that kind of abundance can give to you. So I feel like there's something about that Spirit is really trying to make known for you, that just like be cautious of that because it will ease your anxious feelings. Then we actually have a couple of aces. We have the Ace of Swords and the Ace of Cups. And both of these aces are always a gift from the universe. They are something that like the universe gives you energy, or like it could be a physical thing. Both of these to me don't really dictate physicality because cups are like emotions, and swords are like the mental mind and having clarity, having a breakthrough. So these are gifts that are going to be given to you, miracles that are going to be coming to you as early as this week, possibly even today. There is this like emotional clarity that's going to cut through all of the worries that you've been having. And it's the miracle that's coming. Now, I also want to say something that Spirit is reminding me of right now is that aces sometimes, I would say Ace of Pentacles mostly, which you don't have here, but aces in general often can depict children. So Spirit is asking me to remind some of y'all here, like if that's something you're wanting in your life, you're wanting conception, this is something that there's like a potential there. There's a potential for conception. So, and that's not meant to scare you. If you're somebody that doesn't want children, like that's not the message that I'm giving here. The people that want that and have been seeking that, there's a potential here for that to unfold as you like relax a little bit more. And just expect like emotional clarity, expect for your self-care time to increase and for you to have a breakthrough of mental clarity around the things that have previously really been upsetting you or bothering you. And now I want to pull a few cards from the Cosmic Guidance deck here. And these are just, again, extra gifts, extra miracles that are going to be coming your way. I would say within the next week. Ultimately, that's like the intention that I set with this reading, is that like, what would it be over the next week? Okay. We have Don't Stop. Oh my gosh. This card literally says a miracle is around the corner. So literally, what have you been praying for? Pile number 3. And it doesn't like, prayers don't have to be religious. I believe that you can pray to the earth. I think you can pray to the stars, the universe. I think in some cases you can even pray to yourself, like the cells of your body are listening. So what is it that you dream about? What is it that you pray about? Because you are literally 10 feet from gold. Like, you are so close to this thing actually materializing and manifesting. And Spirit is saying within the next week, you're literally going to receive a sign that it's already on its way. And we also have joy. Your inner child is here to play. I'm telling y'all, some of y'all that have been asking for conception, you're going to get it. Like the fact that we got child in this card after Spirit told me that too. Ooh, okay. But your inner child is here to play. Spirit is saying that that's like another way that you're going to have miracles unfold for you is by getting into the energy of play. What makes you feel playful? We don't just have to be a child in order to play. Play is such an important and integral part of the adult life too. Many of us have just been raised to believe that that's not true. There is never a point in time where we are forced to just stop playing. You might have been forced by somebody else, but how can you bring that back in your life right now? Is there something that you would like to play with? Is there, gosh, I think one of my greatest experiences in adulthood was buying my first ever Lego set, probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Changed my life. I was like, wow, this is so fun. Why did I never do this as a kid? And same way with like, I don't think I actually have them anymore. I lost them in like a move at one point, but there was a time period in my adult life where I just like let myself buy Barbies because I just wanted to like, I didn't really play with them the way that I used to as a kid, but it was nice to just like know that I could pick that up if I wanted to. There was no rule that said, because I'm a 32-year-old woman, that I can't play the way that I used to as a kid. Like, our imaginations are so wild and amazing, and you can tap into that childlike energy at any point in time. You just have to decide that it's not a shameful act, because there's nothing to be ashamed of. And you heard it here first. Kloee Taylor told you can be 32 and buy a Barbie doll, and that's like no big deal. You can just do that. You can be 32 and buy a Lego set and put it together and decide that's how you're going to spend your evening. There is no rule that states that there is a point in time where you just have to stop letting your inner child play. And if you want to get technical, your inner child is like the oldest part of you. It's the part of you that's been with you the longest. So it's got more wisdom, I think, than we ever really give it credit for. And that is the reading that I have for you, pile number 3. That is what I have for you in this reading. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. Please don't forget, if you like any of the decks that you saw here today, to check them out below. And I will link everything down there for you. Now, if you loved this work here, my beautiful cozy babe, I do want to invite you to check out my Patreon. It is the best place that you can support me as a small creator. And truly, we have such a good time on Patreon. I put out astrological predictions. Currently, I just put out a deep, in-depth astrology and tarot for the month of December. So if you want to see that, it's already available on my channel. It's like an hour-long video. I go into every single week of December. There's also the theme for the month. And this month, there'll be more. I'm going to talk more about this in about a week or so. But I'm also doing a masterclass available to my patrons at the Cozy Babe tier. There will be a masterclass coming out, that tier or higher, and it's going to be all about making a vision board that will work for you in 2024. If you didn't know this about me, I am the master of making vision boards and seeing those boards come to life. Truly. Like, I have so much evidence to back this up. And if you've ever felt like vision boards didn't work for you, or you want to know how to make them and make them work for you, this is going to be the masterclass that I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to teach you all about it. And for 11/11, like, come on now. It's such a good, like, it's going to be so good. I'm so excited to talk to you about it. So that is going to be coming up this month of December. I just want to put it out before the new year. Before we get into January. And even if you join in January, or you're seeing this reading later, that will still be available on my Patreon. Like, it's not going to go away from there. So definitely make sure you check it out if you want that. And if you'd like to support me elsewhere, of course, I accept tips for my readings. I have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed for you down below always. I also have my courses that are available to you. I have a 4-week course that goes into like becoming your best and most authentic self. I have a workbook about being your authentic self that comes with some audio guides. And I also do currently have a limited, extremely limited, like literally 3 spots, readings available this month. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at KhloeTaylor.com. So all the links for everything will be down below. And if you've stayed and listened to this entire thing that I just said right now, please leave me this emoji down below to let me know that you stayed and listened to my entire spiel, because I really appreciate that. I know a lot of people will just like click away. So thank you so much. I love you so much. And lastly, before I go, just to anybody that's been like, Kloee, where have you been? You've been gone for like a month. I've just been kind of like in the void, letting myself like rest into it. And my podcast, I talked about it a little bit more, which my podcast is on hiatus until January. But if you were like, Kloee, where the heck have you been? Miss you so much, bestie. Honestly, I've just been on a break, and I'm happy to be back now. I'm so happy to be making content. The break was so necessary. I'm doing really, really, really good. My mental health is really good. And it was just a very necessary and needed break. So thank you so much for your patience on waiting for another reading. And I love you so much. Don't forget to stay cozy. Before we get into your reading, I do just want to talk a little bit about Tarot Stack. Tarot Stack is an online store that sells tarot decks from indie artists. So if you are looking for a special gift this holiday season for your favorite friend, your favorite spiritual friend or family member, this is a great place to shop, as all of these decks are from independent artists that basically you're not shopping like big box or anything. It's more of like small business vibes, and you get to help an independent artist be seen a little bit more. And the decks are so cool. Every single deck that we use in today's reading actually comes from Tarot Stack. And y'all already know, if you've been on my channel for a long time, that I work with Tarot Stack all the time. They are honestly probably one of my favorite brands to work with. I always jump at the chance when I'm given an opportunity to work with them, as I just really believe in what they're trying to do here, which is get these small independent artist decks out into the world more, into your hands to be seen by more people. And every single deck that I have ever received from Tarot Stack, the card stock is really high quality. The imaging is high quality. The art is always really interesting. And I have genuinely always been pleasantly surprised. So I hope you'll like some of the decks that you see here today. Everything will be linked down below for you, of course. All right, pile number 4. If you chose the Fool's Gold, or Pyrite is what this is called, but people also refer to it as Fool's Gold, this is going to be your reading. So we'll go ahead and keep that right there. And the first 3 cards that I'm going to pull out, these are going to let you know if you chose the right pile. If these first 3 cards resonate with you, either they might be cards that you've seen in other readings, or they might be like it's your favorite tarot card, or it could also be that the situation or whatever comes out from spirit that we channel in could be like a current situation of yours, something that relates to you. That's how you're going to know if this is your pile. And if it doesn't relate and it doesn't resonate, then I would encourage you to go and choose again. So let's go ahead and see. All right. We have the Queen of Swords. So right now you might be having to put a lot of boundaries in place, or you might be like somebody that's been a little more talkative lately, or you could also be on the verge of like a really big mental breakthrough, or you're currently having one. This is somebody that's really outspoken, or like isn't afraid to rock the boat. Maybe you were at one point in time, but you're not anymore. Queen of Swords is like the master boundary setter. This could be an energy that you would like to have in your life, or energy that you're working towards, or an energy that you feel like you already fulfill and are. And then we have the World. Big full circle moments, big life lessons. That's what the World always says to me. It's a really exciting time, a really happy time, a joyous time. You've just completed something really major in your life. There's something that's like coming to a close, but it's a good thing. You're actually happy about this. It's like fulfillment. The World is usually a very positive omen. And then we also have the 3 of Pentacles, which is about like working hard, having people that support you, coworkers, could be family, but it also could be that you are finally in a place where you have like asked for help. I am hearing from spirit. Now, please remember, I am not a doctor, nor am I a mental health professional, but I did just hear the word therapy. So like some of you might have just now started like going to therapy or something of that regard, like asking for help. Finally asking for help, like for your mind. Or like you could have been somebody that's been in that for a long time, but now you're finally starting to reap the benefits of going consistently. There's definitely something about that here. Now, if it's not therapy, like I said, I feel like you finally are overcoming like people-pleasing tendencies. You are drawing appropriate boundaries. And the 3 of Pentacles lets me know that you're not afraid or ashamed to ask for help anymore. And that, like I said, I think this has been like a joyous time. Like you are hell-bent on having the experiences in your life that you would like to have, and no longer settling for forcing yourself to do things that don't really align with you anymore. And I think especially if you're seeing this reading as it's first going out during the holiday season, this might be like a really big topic for you. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the Spread Crafters Oracle. And this is what's going to make this reading really in depth for you, because we're going to see what Spirit specifically brought you to this reading for, and we're going to get the answers about it. So let's see. You'll see what I mean once we draw the cards. Okay. Oh, we got your 2 right here. I'm going to go ahead and put this over here. So we got reframe first and foremost, which says to express in a different manner, to refine something, to change something from a destruction to constructive, to reestablish meaning. So this is about processing. I think I'm right on the money when I said that I feel like y'all are potentially like in therapy or talking to a counselor. There's something here, because that's really, in my experience, when you go and seek counsel, that's really what they help you do, is either process emotion or give you the tools to reframe something that really bothers you. And so that's really interesting to me that would come out. And we're going to clarify this more and get more answers out of it in a second. And then you also got the card of potential, which is a light work card. And it says, what powers and opportunities are waiting to be explored or activated and manifested? What is the trajectory of expansion? How will you choose to shine and grow? So I'm actually going to pull my astrology dice out for you, pile number 4. This isn't something I did in anybody else's reading today, but let me grab those. Okay. But I feel like because Spirit is talking about a specific trajectory, I want to give you a little bit of timing with this card. So we'll look at that one in just a second. We're going to start with reframe. So to get specific about what needs to be reframed in your life right now, we have the 10 of Swords and the 2 of Wands. So what needs a reframing in your life is how something in your life has ended. Okay, especially because you have the World card here. The World card is about reaching a full culmination, letting something come to a close so something new can begin. So Spirit is saying that right now you need to reframe how something has ended, because I think something in your life ended maybe really harshly, or maybe you suffered like great heartbreak, but there is something better on the other side of this. And so this needs to be reframed for you, whether it is about reframing how things actually went down, how this is actually something that could support you long term. There is something that needs to be reframed. And I'm trying to think if I have any like good examples. A lot of my neurodivergent listeners tell me that when I give examples, it really helps them understand the reading better. So I feel like something, if I could give you like a reframing example of like something that has been like really difficult to process in my own life. This is kind of a deep example. And again, please remember that I am not a mental health professional. Like, do not use my readings in that way. This is just like a vulnerable and personal thing that I'm going to share. I've talked about it a lot on my podcast, the Cozy Babes Club, but ultimately in 2021, I suffered, and trigger warning, I am going to talk about mental health. So if this is something that has the potential to trigger you, please just skip ahead like 3 to 5 minutes and we'll get into the rest of your reading. But I struggled with really intense panic attacks. And I'd never had panic attacks before that point. This was so intense that I considered this like a split in my life. There was the time before I ever had suffered a panic attack, and then there was the time after. Like there is a divide clear in my life where that happened. And prior to that, I had never had an existential thought in my life. It led me through an insane existential crisis. I dealt with a lot of nihilism. I dealt with a lot of existentialism, questioning my own life a lot. And I used to constantly say, like, if this is what the rest of my life has to be like, I don't even want to be here anymore. Like, I'm done. I'm over it. Like, I can't imagine living the rest of my life with this. And I would tell my therapist this all the time. I would tell, obviously that's very serious, and I'm not trying to make light of it at all. It's a very vulnerable situation, but that was how dark it felt. And I don't feel like it was that dark for the whole time, but it was like a year and a half to almost 2 years that I dealt with this. And something that really helped me when I finally felt like I overcame panic attacks, and it was the reframing. It was reframing. And again, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm literally just sharing my experience with you. So please take it as that. But the thing that I feel like actually cured me from that experience was accepting panic attacks, was no longer like fighting against them, and just being like, you know what? I'm here. I'm going to support myself through this. I have a loving support system with me. Like, fucking bring it on. Literally, I would like say that to my body as I was freaking out. I would say that to my body, like, bring it the fuck on. Do your worst. Go ahead. You want to panic? You want to sit here and have all these feelings, heart rate rising? Like, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm not going to go anywhere. Like, I'm going to be right here with myself, taking care of myself. And like, I'm not just going to like mentally check out. And from that point, I have not had any more series of panic attacks because I just allow them. And because I allow them and I don't try to like white knuckle them down, that was really what made me able to move forward. And it took a lot of courage and a lot of strength, because if you've never experienced a panic attack before, it feels like death. Like, it is so insane in the body. You feel like, the first time I ever had one, I sent paramedics to my house because I thought I was actually dying. And that's a very common experience. People talk about that when they have panic attacks. They literally feel like they're physically dying. And so they're very intense. But having that reframe for myself allowed me the grace to like basically not feel this anymore. And I also know that if I ever have a panic attack again, I know how to get myself through that. I know what I need to do. I know how to be present with myself. I know how to hold that level of space for myself. And again, I'm not saying that's like an end all be all. That's not a cure all. Like, if you deal with that, I'm just sharing of my experience. But that's what I mean when I say reframe. Like, there is something that you have struggled with that maybe was a great loss, a loss of the self, a loss of a person, a loss of a relationship. There is something that you have struggled a great loss with. And Spirit is saying it needs a reframing. You are not meant to just live and hurt. That is not the trajectory of your life. And Spirit sent you to this reading to tell you this. Then we have the Two of Wands, which this is about, like, I feel like you think that you have all these big dreams and like the universe just sits and fucking laughs at you. And that's not the truth. You're not being laughed at. You're not being made a mockery of, and you're allowed to dream as big as you want to. And like, I always like to think of like the universe as like my loving parents. If I had like the most loving parents in the world, like that is the universe for me. That is like, they are my loving parents, and they don't want to see me just struggle and struggle and struggle and struggle. What they want is to guide me to the best possible outcome. And so sometimes I do have to learn lessons through that, but ultimately you're being told that like you're allowed to dream as big as you want. You are the creator of your reality, and you're not meant to just never see your dreams fulfilled. Like, you came here to be the dreamer of your dreams and to see them fulfilled. Remind yourself, if it is desired by me, it is destined for me. That is your new mantra. Okay, now with potential, what powers and opportunities are waiting to be explored, activated, and manifested? What is the trajectory of expansion? How will you choose to shine and grow? So, oh my gosh, 10 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, baby, that's big. Okay, 10 of Cups, this is like, this is like literally manifesting your dream life. Okay. Manifesting the house, the travel, the partner, if you're looking for one, the children, if you want to have them, the lifestyle. Okay. The 10 of Cups is like pure manifestation of what you want your life to look like. So this is your potential. Spirit is saying that what you want also wants you. And with the Wheel of Fortune, The Wheel of Fortune can be a little bit chaotic. It is the card of karma, but it talks about literally having the wheel of karma spinning in your favor, knowing that things are looking up. If you have had a big downturn in your life, you have no way to go but up. So this is your potential. And how will you choose to shine and grow? Honestly, even from this card here with the Two of Wands, you just need to desire it. The universe can't give you what you want if it doesn't know what you want, especially if you keep denying yourself what that is. Now, when can you reach this potential? I told you I wanted to use the astrology dice for you. So I like to do basically a sign, and then I like to do months. So actually, well, first we need to know if it's, that's a lie. I don't go by months. I go by new moon and full moon and then the sign. So if it's an odd number, it's a new moon. If it's an even number, it's a full moon. So we got a 5, so it's an odd number. So that is going to be a new moon. And now we're going to figure out which new moon by using an astrology sign die. Gemini. So new moon in Gemini, this takes place in roughly late May, early June. So that is the timetable you should be looking for when a lot of your potential is going to manifest. And then the next few miracles that are going to be coming into your life, we have the King of Cups. So emotional stability. Complete emotional stability. This could even be a person, like a very mature, kind, loving person. It could be, the king does suggest that it could be a man, but doesn't have to be. Knight of Wands. This is about passion, going after what you desire, being reignited to chase your dreams. So it's like another miracle that's coming into your life. And then we have the Eight of Swords. And to me, the Eight of Swords usually is a card that talks about like limiting belief and feeling stuck. So when we see this as a miracle, this is about becoming unstuck, about removing the limiting beliefs that have been holding you back in the past. So you actually have some really big miracles coming your way, I feel like. Emotional stability. Not to say that you're unstable in any way, but it's like more emotional clarity and feeling like even if there's chaos around you, you know how to become calm. Knight of Wands, like chasing your passion again and feeling like you're excited to do that and letting the limiting beliefs that you've held on to fall by the wayside. So like these are things within the next 2 weeks that are going to change. So it's really exciting. And now I'm going to pull a few cards from the Cosmic Guidance deck for you. These are going to be even more miracles and blessings coming your way, or could just be messages from spirit that you need right now, but we're going to see. Okay, we have rest. Give yourself time to recuperate. So spirit says that something that's coming within like this week is you're going to have some downtime to rest, which I think is something that you've been needing. I don't feel like I ever pull this card for somebody that doesn't really need it. So you are going to be feeling, and listen to me. Resting doesn't just mean taking a cute little nap in the middle of your day. That's cute. Don't get me wrong. We love a nap. There is no nap shame on this channel. But to me, when I think about rest, it's like your heart is at rest. Your body is at rest. Your mind is at rest. Your spirit is resting. It is like this true calm. You are in rest and digest mode, feeling good. So this is like true rest. And then we also have for you love. Allow it to pour in and out of you. So especially with this King of Cups, I don't know if any of y'all are single and looking for someone, but spirit is saying that Knight of Wands also is like a hot and heavy romantic like energy. So if there are some of you that are looking for love, this is a clear indication to me that this person is manifesting. But if not, and you're already in a relationship, this is just about like having more of a loving connection with your partner and having more love towards yourself. You know, giving more to yourself and not feeling guilty for doing that, giving of your time to yourself. And that is the reading that I have for you, pile number 4. That is what I have for you in this reading. Thank you so much, Tarot Stack, for sponsoring today's video. Please don't forget, if you like any of the decks that you saw here today, to check them out below. And I will link everything down there for you. Now, if you loved this work here, my beautiful cozy babe, I do want to invite you to check out my Patreon. It is the best place that you can support me as a small creator. And truly, we have such a good time on Patreon. I put out astrological predictions. Currently, I just put out a deep, in-depth astrology and tarot for the month of December. So if you want to see that, it's already available on my channel. It's like an hour-long video. I go into every single week of December. There's also the theme for the month. And this month, there'll be more. I'm going to talk more about this in about a week or so. But I'm also doing a masterclass available to my patrons at the Cozy Babe tier. There will be a masterclass coming out, that tier or higher, and it's going to be all about making a vision board that will work for you in 2024. If you didn't know this about me, I am the master of making vision boards and seeing those boards come to life. Truly. Like, I have so much evidence to back this up. And if you've ever felt like vision boards didn't work for you, or you want to know how to make them and make them work for you, this is going to be the masterclass that I'm going to show you everything. I'm going to teach you all about it. And for 11/11, like, come on now. It's such a good, like, it's going to be so good. I'm so excited to talk to you about it. So that is going to be coming up this month of December. I just want to put it out before the new year. Before we get into January. And even if you join in January, or you're seeing this reading later, that will still be available on my Patreon. Like, it's not going to go away from there. So definitely make sure you check it out if you want that. And if you'd like to support me elsewhere, of course, I accept tips for my readings. I have my Cashapp, Venmo, and PayPal listed for you down below always. I also have my courses that are available to you. I have a 4-week course that goes into like becoming your best, most authentic self. I have a workbook about being your authentic self that comes with some audio guides. And I also do currently have a limited, extremely limited, like literally 3 spots, readings available this month. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at KhloeTaylor.com. So all the links for everything will be down below. And if you've stayed and listened to this entire thing that I just said right now, please leave me this emoji down below to let me know that you stayed and listened to my entire spiel, because I really appreciate that. I know a lot of people will just like click away. So thank you so much. I love you so much. And lastly, before I go, just to anybody that's been like, Chloe, where have you been? You've been gone for like a month. I've just been kind of like in the void, letting myself like rest into it. And my podcast, I talked about it a little bit more, which my podcast is on hiatus until January. But if you were like, Chloe, where the heck have you been? Miss you so much, bestie. Honestly, I've just been on a break, and I'm happy to be back now. I'm so happy to be making content. The break was so necessary. I'm doing really, really, really good. My mental health is really good. And it was just a very necessary and needed break. So thank you so much for your patience on waiting for another reading. And I love you so much. Don't forget to stay cozy. Bye.